how could I tell some artist, you know, to beyond this business and stuff, and they say, I get it, Steve, but okay, then sit down, let's figure it out. If you had 1 million streams on Spotify alone, does that pay the artist anything?
Let me give you.
Is that a living?
Let me give you.
That's maybe a second one, just the arithmetic.
I'll give you the biggest picture sketch of how this works, and I can only speak to Spotify since that's the only one I really know intimately. We make money in 2 ways. People, in certain cases, use our product for free, and they actually pay for that usage by watching advertisements. The same way that they do on television or when they listen to the radio. Other people pay $10 a month in the US for a subscription. That gives them all the music they can enjoy on their computer, on their phone, wherever they are. We aggregate all of this revenue that we make from advertisers and from subscribers, and we pay out about 70% of it in royalties. So to date, we've paid out, a few months ago we crossed an important symbolic threshold, I think, of $500 million in royalties paid. We are at this point the second largest digital revenue source behind iTunes globally, and that's only being in a handful of markets that they're in. And so very rapidly, as users migrate to this sort of system, the money that it generates increases. Now, people are so focused on what's the per play rate. What do I get paid, right? In the same way that they think about how much do I make when I sell a download on iTunes. It's sort of an improper apples to oranges comparison because the amount that we pay out per stream changes when more people are in our system. In other words, every subscriber to Spotify theoretically adds $120 a year to the pot. And as that pot increases, so too do the rates that we pay out. The important principle is we're paying out about 70% of every dollar we take in, however we get that dollar, and we're distributing it in proportion to how much your music was played. So if your song was 1% of what people listened to that year on Spotify, you would get about 1%
we would have made
of
$5
the
million
70%.
This year.
The biggest artists on the service right now, we are paying out every quarter somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 to $5 million in royalties. Now,
not to the artist.
One last caveat to this point is that we pay whoever owns the music. And in most cases, that's a record label, as it's always been. By the way, exactly how it works with Apple as well. When they sell a download, they pay whoever owns the record. We also accept music from a number of digital distributors like TuneCore, Record Union, CD Baby, and others. And in those cases, some of those services take no cut. Artists like I distributed my last album this way. I was on a major label for my first album. The second album I put out myself. Paid TuneCore $100 to deliver my album, and all of my Spotify royalties have passed through directly to me.
See, that's what I'm getting at, is how, you know, because it's so depressing to think, if you're a manager, no money for artist, no money for manager, to think that all these artists out there would have zero prospect of getting paid. And I think this is, you know, Ken and I have experienced this, and my record company friends will get, you know, all upset about it. But the record companies kind of gave you a promise that you were going to get paid. Right? On paper, it looked like, and then they took it all away through holdbacks, and, oh, by the way, did we mention that we're 50-50 on the video to 50 grand, and that $800,000 video, you got all the money on all of that. So I'd hate to think that we get a brand new way of delivering music, right? And that we come to the same net result for the artist, that it all goes away. Now, I want to end on a more practical note here, because, you know, this idea of standing out from the crowd is still a huge one, no matter how you do it. I've noticed that there are more and more promo opportunities that are surfacing inside the Spotify app. There's labels that were running away from all this stuff that are now advertising there. What are the promo opportunities that a service like Spotify can offer artists to stand out a little bit from the crowd, and how do you get to be a part of them?
Sure. Well, first off, the easiest point of entry for any artist who wants to do something cool with us is just emailing artists@spotify.com. And we have a whole team dedicated to communicating with artists who want to have a relationship with us and who want to get anything done. Now, when you have new music that you're ready to put out to the world, we have a number of different ways that we can collaborate with you to promote that inside of Spotify and outside of Spotify. We, for the first time ever, started doing some advertising, and we incorporate artists into that in the same way that other services have. But more importantly, we try to focus on building organic distribution opportunities within Spotify's system. In other words, we will connect you as an artist with playlisters who have really popular, heavily subscribed playlists, because we see that when they add a song to their playlist, it has an impact in the same way that a radio DJ playing it did in another era. And we try to figure out ways to creatively help you present the music, create new experiences around it, and innovate